Welcome to the Tough Love Nephilim series. My name is Rolon. Now, according to Genesis 6, the Nephilim were the offspring of the sons of God and the daughters of men. And today we are talking about the Sidonians. If you find yourself enjoying this content, please smash those like and subscribe buttons. Alrighty folks, let's get into this one. Now, historically the Sidonians were a Canaanite tribe that resided in Sidon, or Sidon, along the shore of the Mediterranean Sea. Sidon was north of Tyre, which was northwest of the Sea of Galilee. B.D.B. Strong's concordance reference H6722 renders Sidonians this way. Sidonians, sea, hunting, an inhabitant of Sidon. B.D.B. Strong's concordance reference H6721 renders Sidon this way. Hunting, an ancient Phoenician city on Mediterranean coast north of Tyre. Smith's Bible Dictionary renders Sidonians this way. Sidonians, the inhabitants of Sidon. They were among the nations of Canaan left to give the Israelites practice in the art of war, and colonies of them appear to have spread up into the hill country from Lebanon to Mizraphoth-Maim, whence in later times they hewed cedar trees for David and Solomon. They oppressed the Israelites on their first entrance into the country, and appear to have lived a luxurious, reckless life. They were skillful in hewing timber, and were employed for this purpose by Solomon. They were idolaters and worshipped Ashtoreth as their tutelary goddess, as well as the sun god Baal, from whom their king was named. Fawcett's Bible Dictionary renders Sidon this way. Fishing town, Sidon or Sidon. Sidon was in Asher, an ancient mercantile city of Phoenicia, in the narrow plain between Lebanon and the Mediterranean, where the mountains recede 2 miles from the sea, 20 miles north of Tyre. Now Sidon. Old Sidon stands on the northern slope of a promontory projecting a few hundred yards into the sea, having thus a fine naturally formed harbor, Strabo. The citadel occupies the hill behind on the south. Sidon is called the firstborn of Canaan, and Great Sidon, or the metropolis. Sidonians is the generic name of the Phoenicians, or Canaanites. In Judges 18:28, Laish is said to be far from Sidon, whereas Tyre, 20 miles nearer, would have been specified if it had then been a city of leading importance. See Tyre. So in Homer, Sidon is named, but not Tyre. Justin Martyr makes Tyre a colony planted by Sidon when the king of Ascalon took Sidon the year before the fall of Troy. Tyre is first mentioned in Scripture in Joshua 19:29 as the strong city, the daughter of Sidon. Sidon and Sidonians are names often subsequently used for Tyre, Tyrians. Thus, Ethbaal, king of the Sidonians, is called by Menander and Josephus, king of the Tyrians. By the time of Zechariah, Tyre has the precedency, Tyrus and Sidon. Sidon revolted from the yoke of Tyre when Shalmaneser's invasion gave the opportunity. Rivalry with Tyre influenced Sidon to submit without resistance to Nebuchadnezzar. Its rebellion against the Persian Artaxerxes Ochus entailed great havoc on its citizens, Tennis, its king, proving traitor. Its fleet helped Alexander the Great against Tyre. Augustus took away its liberties. Its population is now 5,000. Its trade and navigation have left it from Beirut. It was famed for elaborate embroidery, working of metals artistically, glass, the blowpipe, lathe, and graver, and cast mirrors. Philinny 36:26 and 1 Kings 5:6 make it known, not any can skill to hew timber like unto the Sidonians. Their seafaring is alluded to in Isaiah 23:2. Self-indulgent ease followed in the train of their wealth, so that the manner of the Sidonians was proverbial. Sidon had her own king. Sidonian women in Solomon's harem seduced him to worship Ashtoreth, the goddess of the Sidonians. Joel reproves Sidon and Tyre for selling children of Judah and Jerusalem to the Grecians and threatens them with a like fate, Judah selling their sons and daughters to the Sabaeans. So Ezekiel threatens Sidon with pestilence and blood in her streets, so that she shall be no more a pricking briar unto Israel. Jesus went once to the coasts of Tyre and Sidon. Paul touched at Sidon on his voyage from Caesarea to Rome. By Julius Quartius' permission, Paul there went unto his friends to refresh himself. Tyre and Sidon's doom shall be more tolerable in the day of judgment than that of those who witnessed Christ's work and teaching, yet repented not. On a coin of the age of Antiochus IV, Tyre claims to be mother of the Sidonians, being at that time the capital city. The progenitor of the Sidonians was Sidon, who was fathered by Canaan, who was fathered by Ham, Noah's son. Genesis 10. And the first mention of him in the Bible is in the list of nations descended from Noah in Genesis 10. According to Genesis 10, 15 through 19, Sidon was the first son of Canaan, and is one of only 2 sons actually named in the passage out of the seemingly 11 sons who were fathered by him. Genesis 10, 15 through 19 reads as follows. Canaan fathered Sidon, his firstborn, and Heth, the Jebusite, the Amorite, the Girgashite, the Hivite, the Archite, the Sinite, the Arvadite, the Zemarite, and the Hamathite. And afterward the families of the Canaanite were spread abroad. The territory of the Canaanite extended from Sidon, going toward Gerar, as far as Gaza, and going toward Sodom and Gomorrah, Admah, and Zeboim, as far as Lasha. We know from Genesis 10, 15 through 19 that the Sidonians were Canaanites. And in Numbers 13, when Israel's spies are returning from their 40-day reconnaissance mission in the land of Canaan, they gave their report of the land and its fierce inhabitants. They identified the Canaanites, along with the Amalekites, Hittites, Jebusites, and Amorites residing in the land as the descendants of Anak. Numbers 13, 28 through 29. It reads as follows. Nevertheless, the people who live in the land are strong, and the cities are fortified and very large. And indeed we saw the descendants of Anak there. Amalek is living in the land of the Negev. The Hittites, the Jebusites, and the Amorites are living in the hill country, and the Canaanites are living by the sea and by the side of the Jordan. Now, after this initial report, when everyone was freaking out, Caleb steps up to calm everyone down and encourage them. But 10 of our 12 spies returning from the land of Canaan were having none of it. In their continued report, in Numbers 13, 30 through 33, those spies go on to describe the sons of Anak not just as people of great stature or great height, but as Nephilim. Numbers 13, 30 through 33 reads as follows. Then Caleb quieted the people before Moses and said, We should by all means go up and take possession of it, for we will certainly prevail over it. But the men who had gone up with him said, We are not able to go up against the people, because they are too strong for us. So they brought a bad report of the land which they had spied out to the sons of Israel, saying, The land through which we have gone to spy out is a land that devours its inhabitants, and all the people whom we saw in it are people of great stature. We also saw the Nephilim there. The sons of Anak are part of the Nephilim, and we were like grasshoppers in our own sight, and so we were in their sight. In this passage and in Genesis 6:4, the Septuagint renders Nephilim as giants. And as a progenitor Nephilim tribe, the Anakim were enormous, fierce, and powerful giants, as Numbers 13 and Deuteronomy 9 collectively point out. Deuteronomy 9, 1 through 2 reads as follows. Hear, Israel, you are crossing the Jordan today to go in to dispossess nations greater and mightier than you, cities that are great and fortified to heaven, a people who are great and tall, the sons of the Anakim, whom you know and of whom you have heard it said, Who can stand against the sons of Anak? Anak was the son of the Nephilim Arba, Joshua 15:13 and 21:11. Now according to Joshua 14:15, Arba was the greatest man among the Anakim. Though the Anakim were a tribe unto themselves, it is important to note that the term Anakim is used to refer to a combination of at least 6 other Canaanite tribes and conglomerate tribes in Numbers 13:28 through 33. The Bible also seems to occasionally use the terms Anakim, sons of Anak, descendants of Anak, and sons of the Anakim, not just as tribal references or distinctions, but as general terms for the post-Diluvian Nephilim, or Rephaim. Numbers 13:28 through 33, Deuteronomy 1:26 through 28, and 9:1 through 2, and Joshua 11:18 through 23. There are no recorded battles in the Bible between Israel and the Sidonians. However, There must have been some conflict or conflicts between the two nations at some point. For we know, according to Judges 10:10-13, that God had rescued Israel from the Sidonians, who were hostile to him and his people. In Judges 10, the Israelites cry out to the Lord for relief from their Philistine and Ammonite oppressors. But before God grew weary of Israel's misery and raised up a champion to save them, he retorted by showing Israel that it was his hand of providence that had continually saved them out of the hands of their enemies. Judges 10:10-13 reads as follows. Then the sons of Israel cried out to the Lord, saying, "We have sinned against you, for indeed we have abandoned our God and served the Baals." And the Lord said to the sons of Israel, "Did I not save you from the Egyptians, the Amorites, the sons of Ammon, and the Philistines? And when the Sidonians, the Amalekites, and the Maonites oppressed you, you cried out to me, and I saved you from their hands. Yet you abandoned me and served other gods. Therefore, I will no longer save you." Additionally, it is highly interesting to note that in the wake of Israel's disobedience and unfaithfulness back in Judges 2, God announced that he would no longer drive out from Israel any of the nations which Joshua left when he died. Judges 2:16-23. Judges 3:1-4 expounds on this further. It reads as follows. Idolatry leads to servitude. Now these are the nations that the Lord left to test Israel by them, that is, all the Israelites who had not experienced any of the wars of Canaan, only in order that the generations of the sons of Israel might be taught war, those who had not experienced it previously. These nations are the 5 governors of the Philistines, and all the Canaanites and the Sidonians, and the Hivites who lived on Mount Lebanon, from Mount Baal Hermon, as far as Lebo Hamath. They were left to test Israel by them, to find out if they would obey the commandments of the Lord, which he had commanded their fathers through Moses. The final mention of Sidon in the Bible is in Acts 27. This is the famous shipwreck episode that takes place as the Apostle Paul is sailing for Rome in chains to make his appeal to Caesar. All that said, the Sidonians were either a Nephilim tribe or a Nephilim hybrid tribe whose gene pool was utterly infected with Nephilim DNA. Thank you so much for checking out this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you learned a thing or two. If you did indeed enjoy, then please smash those like and subscribe buttons and hit that notification bell. And if you like the work that I do and you want to support it, pop on over to my locals page. Donors there all get access to PDFs of my research papers, with endnotes included, and your support is greatly appreciated. Also, should I ever get booted off of YouTube, I'll still be carrying out the fight over on Rumble, so please pop on over there and give me a follow as well. Alrighty folks, till next time, take care and God bless.